Once upon a time, deep in the forests of Germany, there lived a woodcutter, his 2 children, and their stepmother. Times were hard for the woodcutter, and there was never enough to eat. It was not a happy home. The father could never cut enough wood to sell in order to buy all the things his wife wanted. The children felt so sorry for their father because he always tried to be nice to them. That night, while the children were asleep,
Now listen, husband. We have to do something to cut down on our expenses. We're going to starve if we don't do something right away. Here's what you're going to do. Take the children deep into the forest and leave them there. That way we'll have enough to eat.
Leave my children? How can you say that? Never, never, never. Although I won't be able to feed them if they stay here.
Exactly, you fool. Now listen to me. Do as I say!
Oh, yes, yes.
Leaving them in the forest will be the best thing for them.
the children had been awakened by the screaming and had heard the stepmother's plan.
Don't cry, Gretel. I'll think of something.
Hansel took a walk in the night air to try to think of a solution. He noticed that the moonlight shining on the pebbles in the forest made them sparkle like diamonds. He had an idea.
That's it.
The next morning, the children were told that they were to come along into the forest to help gather wood, but they knew the real reason. What's this? What's Hansel doing? Why, he's dropping pebbles behind him as he walks. How strange.
Now don't stray from the fire, children. We'll be right back.
Oh, my poor Hansel. Gretel.
The evil stepmother and her reluctant husband left the children and headed for home. Hours passed, and soon the exhausted children fell asleep by the fire. The children were awakened by the hooting of an owl and began to scream for help.
Help! Help us!
Father! Father!
Poor children. They screamed and screamed, but there was no one around to hear them. Then Gretel began to cry.
Don't cry, Gretel. I'll get us back home.
When the moon was at its fullest and brightest, there appeared a trail of diamonds sparkling along the ground. They were pebbles reflecting the moonlight, the pebbles that Hansel had dropped behind him on the journey from home. Clever Hansel knew that by the light of the moon he could follow the sparkling trail back to their doorstep.
Father! Oh, children! You're safe! Oh, Hansel, Gretel, you're safe, you're safe!
That night, Hansel had tried to collect more pebbles, but his stepmother had locked the bedroom door. So Hansel lay awake all night worrying about tomorrow. And soon it was morning. At breakfast, the children were told that they once again would have to go into the forest to help gather wood. Hansel watched his stepmother carefully, and when she wasn't looking, he slipped some bread into his pocket. I wonder why. Poor Hansel and Gretel, how will they ever find their way back? The bread. Why, Hansel was leaving a trail of breadcrumbs. Oh dear, the birds are eating the bread. There'll be no trail left at all. Hansel and Gretel will never find their way back home. Those poor children, what will become of them? When their father and stepmother left, Hansel and Gretel tried to find their way back home. The children were frightened by the creatures of the night, but they knew they must keep searching for the way home. They bravely pushed onward, walking and walking. They were so exhausted. Gretel was so weak that Hansel had to carry her on his back. And soon Hansel became just as tired, and they had to rest in the hollowed-out trunk of a tree where they slept soundly through the night. The next morning, Hansel and Gretel continued their search for the path home. They were so tired and so hungry. But then, suddenly they saw a beautiful candy house.
Wow, it's candy!
They raced
Come
to
on,
the house.
let's go. Wow, real milk chocolate.
Yes, and gingerbread, too!
The children began to nibble on the house.
Nibble, nibble, gnaw. Who is nibbling at my little house? Oh, I have two little hungry visitors. Please come in, won't you?
Wow, this is the most delicious house I've ever seen!
So you like it, You may eat all you want. I love healthy little children. What would you like to eat first? Some candy? Some cake?
What's this? By the light of her lantern, the old lady cast a frightening shadow on the wall.
Something wrong?
Oh, no! A witch! The candy! The cake! The house!
I've tricked you, my lovelies! You see, I eat little children! But for now...
Those poor children! Gretel slaved while Hansel was being fattened up.
Come on, eat your dinner. It's good for you. It'll put some meat on you. Come on, eat up! Hansel, you should be nice and plump by now.
But I don't feel fatter.
But you must have gained weight.
No, I think I'm losing it.
Hansel had noticed that the witch had very poor eyesight.
My eyes are too weak to trust. Let me feel your finger.
Clever Hansel took an old chicken bone from his pocket and presented it as his finger.
Huh. I can feel his bones. He's certainly not ready for cooking.
The old witch soon tired of trying to fatten Hansel. She just couldn't wait any longer.
Oh, is that boy skinny? But I'll bet he'll be a tasty little morsel.
Oh, dear Hansel, my poor, poor brother.
Gretel was forced to build a fire.
Hurry, Gretel. The fire seems to be coming along very nicely. Now see if the oven's at the proper temperature.
How?
How? What's wrong with you, girl? Haven't you ever done any baking?
I haven't.
Watch. You stick your head in like this.
Really? Oof!
Ah! Help me! Help!
While the witch was burning in her oven, the evil stepmother was busy cooking. Until...
Ah! 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 Ah!
Gretel!
Oh, Hansel!
Gretel, you saved us. We're safe now.
Hansel and Gretel were free, and they both wished with all their might that they could be at home with their father. When
Hansel!
it was their father. He had been searching for days trying to find his children. He had realized that he had made a terrible mistake.
Oh, it's Father!
My children, please forgive me. I'll never leave you again.
Father! Father!
They began their long journey home, As they walked, the children told of their adventure with the evil witch. Their father listened intently and promised that from then on he would always protect them, and that he had banished his evil wife from the house forever. Now nothing could stand in the way of the family's happiness, and when they reached home, a joyous celebration marked the beginning of their everlasting happiness.